figure we'll get started. We'll get everyone set up for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I'll go ahead.
Can you see my lower thirds things correctly? Yeah. Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Thank you.
Um, so I need to figure out how to embed this video onto ubuntuonair.com. The chances you know how to do that. Have you ever done one of these?
I've never actually done a Hangout, let alone something on air.
Yeah. So I think I just embed it page. You can handle getting the word out too, right? Like tweeting and all that stuff when we start.
Yeah, I've already done that a few times.
Okay. Where the hell? There's got to be like a URL or something somewhere that I paste to people, isn't there?
I'd assume so. Did you not do this last time?
Yeah, I did. It's just Jose usually sets it up,
Right.
the URL. Just haven't like run one myself. Oh, you know what? I think it might be on Google Plus. I also got to figure out how to enable discuss on the page.
Sorry, I can't be more help.
Oh, it's okay. So you just keep inviting people, and then I'll figure this out.
Who should I be inviting?
Oh, I was just saying, spread the word.
Oh, right, okay. Phew. Close the right window.
So do I just paste the URL, I think? You have no idea.
I genuinely no, I have no idea.
When we go on, you're going to want to mute your when you're typing.
Right. I probably won't be typing.
Okay. Let me just get the comments going. Five minutes to go. Ugh. I have no idea how to put these discuss comments on. I asked him just leave it commented out on the page, but hey, do you know how to see a revision of a page in WordPress?
Yes, there's normally a box you can enable that shows you just under the bottom.
I see last edited, and I see some comments, but
Let me just load up the PNG. When you're in the actual like editor, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if you go to screen options, you can normally enable revisions, and then you'll see them.
Ah, there they are. Perfect.
Saved my life many a time.
Except it doesn't. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is so annoying. Like, people are...
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hello.
Yeah, it's Ken. Nope, that doesn't work. Hey, Ken, you wouldn't happen to know. How do we get the stupid, the URL for the video on YouTube?
The URL for the Hangout?
No, I got the Hangout. It's just we need the streaming part.
Oh, I don't know. I have my video turned off because the my camera on this computer has a half gray screen and it flickers and drives people nuts.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've been witness to that. I think it was Michael Hall that I drove nuts one day for that.
I have no idea how to enable either comments or turn on the YouTube. We might have to cancel this and do it next week.
Is Jose not around?
No, I don't. Oh, wait. Rick seems to have a URL. Oh, Rick has it. Perfect. Okay. We're not doomed, everyone. Well, if you're not talking, you're not doomed, everyone. I think that's you, Ken. If you're not talking,
Me what?
I mean, that's you.
Oh, mute? Me what? Oh, mute?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, we'll just give it a few more minutes. Joey, you can hear me, right?
I can, yep.
All right, all we need now is the comments. Is the page updated for you guys? It doesn't seem to.
No, not here.
There we go. Okay, I've got the comments. All I got to do is enable them. No problem. Just bear with us for a minute if you've joined. How many people are following? Looks like I just need to turn the plug in. Okay. All right, I'm going to give this another 2 minutes to figure this out, and if not, we'll just do it next week.
You're supposed to be a ninja, George.
Well, I don't. It was working when I left.
Famous last words. Famous last words.
No, the thing is like the comments I usually leave commented out in the WordPress post. But that's gone, and there's like 50 revisions now since. No idea where it is. But I figure if we can get at least the video working, then we can just talk and at least get something out there. Okay, now let's see if we're streaming on the site. Okay, now I can't get the embedded widget to work at all. You know, this was a lot simpler when we just hung out on Google+.
Just think happy ninja thoughts, George. Happy ninja thoughts.
Does my overlay look all right?
Hey, okay, so can you guys go to ubuntuonair.com and see if we're streaming? We should be. Yeah, there we go. All right, excellent. All right, so we are live.
Oh, crikey.
We're good. Okay, all we're waiting on is for Neil. Does anyone see Neil?
Mr. Patel.
Okay, I'm going to get the comments working, and then Robert, since you're here, we'll start with you and Ken, and then we'll get started. So if you're joining us from ubuntuonair.com, welcome to Ubuntu on Air. We're having some technical difficulties with the comments. So we have Robert Carr here and Ken Van Dyne, who's the black box because his camera doesn't work, and then we'll hope to get Neil Patel here. And then Joey from OMG is here. So you're coming. So what we're going to do is once Neil joins, we're going to talk about Unity because he's a technical architect. And then Robert, we're going to grill you a lot on web apps and some of the cool features and things like that. Those of you who were around last time, we tried to have Robert, but he had a really horrible web camera. So it looks like you at least went to the store and got a decent web camera there. So let me just get the comments working. Hey, Joey, how do you feel about, while I get the comments working, why don't you kick it off with Robert and let's just start talking about web apps for a bit, and then I'll get the comments working so we can field your questions.
Right.
And I'll hunt down Neil, so take it away, Joey.
Yeah, web apps. I suppose I really want to ask, first of all, about the whole Amazon thing, whether, kind of like how that came about. Deathly silent.
I mean, I think it's pretty natural. We had this collection of web apps now, and we had some we want to ship by default to give the users access to them, and just like any other app. So we went with Ubuntu One Music and Amazon. There's things we're integrating into the Dash as well. Felt like it came about pretty naturally, I guess.
And there's no kind of, I mean, did you have to limit it to 2, or was there kind of thoughts about adding more as default?
Well, I think there's just concern about adding too many apps. I don't think necessarily anyone picked the number 2, but it felt about right.
Cool. And how many websites are now supported? Because the last time I did something on it, it was about 30, 35.
It's about 30, 35.
That's still the same.
Plus there's some extra bits, like some meta scripts that will integrate, say, any Facebook app generically, or bits like that. Currently in Quantal, we're only seeing the default ones until the rest of the individual web app packages get uploaded, but they should be rolling out over the next few days.
Cool. Sorry, I've actually got a whole list of questions here, and I'm just kind of like marking them off in my head.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Ask them all.
No, and have you, Canonical, do you know if any other websites have been approached? Like, I want to say Netflix, but no Netflix on Linux. But any other websites, or has there been any interest from anyone looking to support web apps that you know about?
There's been some interest. We saw right after release rd.io added native integration, which is pretty cool. As far as I know, they're the only sort of non-Ubuntu related site that's added it so far. But also it's just now landed in the development release. So I'm hoping we'll see more of that. I've definitely seen, just in some discussion, people saying, I'll try and use this the next time I'm making an app or something. So I'm hopeful.
I know that someone started to implement it for my site, but I'm not quite sure how that's got on.
It was there at one point.
Yeah, I think it's there. It asks for integration, but it doesn't actually do anything, which is a bit pointless. Are there any websites that are not supported that you'd really like to see supported?
Amazon Cloud Player, I'd really like us to do something for. Not sure how we didn't get around to that one. It's just so many apps, It's yeah.
And I suppose the problem is kind of not picking ones that are so niche that no one's going to kind of really benefit from them, because it'd be easy to kind of do your favorites, I guess.
Yeah. And then you also run into issues where through this this user script injection mechanism, some sites are just surprisingly difficult to integrate. So hopefully the future will be reaching out to sites and having them integrate with us, because it's almost never too difficult from that perspective. But from the third party injecting new JavaScript perspective, it's hit or miss.
I mean, how for a layman like me who's not a developer, I kind of don't understand kind of how difficult it's been to make it. But I mean, has it been particularly a challenge to kind of integrate web apps with the desktop?
I mean, there have been a set of challenges. Some are there's just some different metaphors. Like we think of a desktop app as running or not running. When is a web app running? When we have it's not exactly the same metaphor. So we've had to adapt those. And there are all sorts of little corner cases that shows up. And then there have been difficulties with some particular apps. Just like Google Docs is kind of finicky. So getting the Google Docs menu in the HUD took some quite a bit of exploration. Yeah.
Is there websites change a lot. I mean, is there anything, say, if Google Docs did something to their website, would it break the web app on the desktop?
It could potentially cause a degradation. Hopefully, you should always still get the launcher icon. But some features might start to degrade. Obviously, this is very scary, so we've tried to be very conscious of this and how we structure the code and what we allow ourselves to do. So I think in some cases there are features we would have liked to add to a given
such as
for a given app or something. More complex HUD support in Google Docs, or I wanted to do some more complex HUD support in Reddit, or you could do some deeper integration with how the Gmail messages are categorized and the like. But we've tried to avoid depending, too deeply on page structure. And
do you have a kind of a plan for if something like that does happen with quite a major site like Gmail or Google Docs? Do you have we'll fix it and push an update out, or is it just it's broken until?
No, so we have continual testing for all the sites. And when they go down, we try and immediately push out an update. And these web app packages are handled a little separately, and they'll just update the next time you go to the site and the script would load, or update when you would do a regular update as well.
Awesome. Have you got comments working yet, George?
No, I don't think. I think I'm just going to answer questions on OMG and relay them over. But I got a question for you, Ken and Robert, together. So I've been using the web apps feature in Chrome, and what I like about it is once I select my web app in the browser, all the Chrome, as in the widgetry and stuff, goes away, and then I just get the web app. When can I have that for Firefox and out of the box? Because what I don't want a tab. I want a Gmail window that totally acts like a separate application with no browser buttons or anything. So
Robert, I think this one's clearly on you.
Yeah. So I think you could probably see this for Firefox in 1304. We wanted to land it, then we ran into some last-minute difficulties with Firefox upstream changing some things around, and it's just it's too late at this point. But yeah, hopefully we'll see it for 1304.
Okay, all right. Since I can't get the comments working, I'm going to go ahead and just tell OMG people to post their questions, and we'll go ahead and answer them.
No hits for me.
You guys can keep talking. Are you out of questions already, Joey?
No, I'm just kind of mentally censoring myself so I don't ask something I shouldn't.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I think you should.
I'd love to know what everyone kind of thinks about the whole Amazon search results in the dash, because that's kind of been the big hoo-ha over the weekend.
I wish Neil was here so we could just blame it all on him, but we can't. I missed the whole thing. I was at a cider mill and stuff. But I order something from Amazon like every day. Like because of Amazon, I know I'm on like a first name basis with my UPS guy. His name is Steve. So when I saw it, I thought it was awesome. I mean, I'm going to buy something from Amazon anyway. Might as well support the project. I think it's cool. I mean, but I'm very, very biased, though. I think it's awesome.
Of course. I think it's pretty cool, too. I think it'll be maybe a little bit less controversial as we go forward and more shopping sites are enabled and things like that. Right now, it's it's the first time we've had this kind of commercial sort of aspect to the desktop, but people do like to buy things from Amazon, and they like to buy things from other stores too. And right now, one problem we kind of have is location based. So not every country can order from Amazon. So we've done some stuff to try to help direct people to the right sites and stuff for Amazon, but we need to fill the gaps there, and maybe provide a more complete experience. So this is the first round of it. I think it has good potential, though.
Yeah, I think for sure, we need to fix some of the things are bugs. Like not talking SSL is obviously a bug that needs to be addressed before release. I think I saw on Reddit today someone searched for something and got back a not safe for work result, which I thought is hilarious. But we're in beta, and I'm sure the team will fix those up.
I have to admit that I did start prepping a 5 funny search results you'll get from Amazon when you put something in the dash. But,
oh yeah, anything safe that you can tell us, or are they all porn or something?
Mostly probably NSFW. I was really hoping for like toy shotguns when I entered Shotwell, but no.
Oh. Well, I put in the name of my favorite metal band, and it took me right to their Blu-ray. So I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
I think it's right in line with the vision of the dash, which is just you type in what you want and you get it. And some things cost money, but sometimes you want those things. So it's nice to be able to get to them easily.
It was quite strange to see kind of such a vehement reaction. Obviously, me running a blog, I was at the forefront of getting all. When it's kind of in a way no different to kind of the paid music results that you'd get in the music lens, but because it was in the home dash, it kind of, I don't know, people just didn't seem to like it encroaching there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the whole design of the dash. This is your global search for anything, and we're bringing the web to the desktop.
I think people will probably come round to it. I think it's just kind of a jolt to start with. But and Mark Shuttleworth's explanation of like all what's in store is just amazing. It's pretty damn cool.
Right. Yeah. Every time we make a change like this, we get there's a bunch of flack for it, and some of it's not completely incorrect, but there's always when this notion of change kind of freaks people out, especially a niche community does that.
Yeah, sure. I think we need to remember too. There's a reason we have this in beta. I mean, it's not like you woke up and your 12.04 release version is like spamming you with something. I mean,
it's true. I mean, for me, it's very difficult whenever I'm writing about something that's in beta or whatever. I kind of have to continually reiterate. This is development. This is development. Things are not set in stone. Things will change. But people, the nature of the way people read online, they just kind of read what they want and jump to conclusions.
That's okay. So we do have some questions about web apps. One came in from Timo Schneeman. I hope I pronounced that right. We are running web apps. Wait, let me start over. We have running web apps running in the company I work on, a local server in the LAN, Redmine and Sugar CRM. Is it possible to write an own web app for them? Is there documentation? Would it be possible to have tab browsing inside of a web app? So now, Robert, would be a good time to maybe talk about the different ways people can integrate their applications. Like I know you guys have like
sure. So I'm not sure I entirely understood the question. It sounds like there is some local instances of web apps they have deployed.
Yeah, so he has Redmine and Sugar CRM.
Okay. So I mean, in that case, if you control you're the upstream for the web app in this case, or you're publishing it, you can just add support for the API. and there is documentation on developer.ubuntu.com.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
We can add those links later. You can.
We can add those links later. But it should be pretty straightforward. To start off, all you have to do is add a call to this method unity.init, which basically says, "Hey Unity, I'm an application. There's an application inside this browser view." And to follow up on the tabbed question, it will, it will work like that and collate tabs appropriately to be part of the same application across Windows and bits like that. For some of these applications, like CRM applications and the like, we've looked at integrating them in a generic way. Like I think we have a Drupal module, for example, that that adds Unity Web App support, or I think maybe a Wikimedia patch also, and a few assorted things like that. So one way to look at it would be doing it in this generic way, rather than just for your site, and maybe even try and get the patch upstream.
Okay, that sounds like you've answered his question. Somebody asked, where's the new sound icon and themes? There's new sound/icon theme. Any of you guys have any idea? So Ivanka thought that we were doing this on Friday, so we're going to have to catch her next time. So if she's not here, that's going to be a good question to ask her. Go ahead. Okay, next question. Sam asks, would having web apps in the Ubuntu Software Center be an eventuality? For example, if it would bring you Gmail, Gdocs, you could just like search in your Software Center, for radio, and then is that something that you guys have in store, Robert?
Yes, we are just in progress of uploading the individual web app packages. For the web apps preview, we shipped all the web applications as part of one large package. But now they are split out into separate packages, and the mechanism is when you go to Gmail for the first time, it will detect, that there's an available Gmail package and offer to install for you in place of the integration prompt that was seen before. But you could also just find this from the Software Center or the application lens.
Okay. And then basically the onus is on us to convince website owners to integrate and whatnot.
Yeah.
See, I think what would be cool, now, since I'm just talking out loud, as I'm using these comments, I think it would be cool to have a general discuss plugin for Unity web apps. So any blog that has a discuss comment, like a notification when people reply and stuff.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I just noticed that now as I'm curating through the comments and questions. So hopefully, Sam, that answers your question. Question, my laptop is too slow, but I noticed major slowdown when searching the dash. This is the result of the new Amazon shopping results integration. Will there be any speed optimizations from now to release? So me personally, I don't think it's part of the Amazon shopping results, because it's always been, to me, the search has always needed a little bit of love. What do you guys think?
I would not guess it to be part of the Amazon shopping results now.
I think it's easy to blame that at the moment, isn't it? So.
Yes, I stubbed my toe. Stupid Amazon shopping lens. All right, cool. So while we're getting more, while we wait for more questions on web apps and stuff, and Neil maybe show up. I don't know if he just decided to bail on us or what. We should definitely make fun of him though, and give him social pressure so he won't bail next time. Ken, can you talk a little bit about? So you got stuck with maintaining Gwibber and stuff after Ryan Paul bailed on us. Sorry, loaded question. Can you talk a little bit about some of the integration you've been doing with the social stuff and Gwibber and whatnot, and Twitter, online. Talk about the online services stuff too. Like I noticed my Google account, I can now connect in my control panel and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, the web account stuff. Yeah. So with the Ubuntu web accounts, we were able to yank out all the crappy Gwibber accounts code that we had, and simplify things a lot. So now it just, all the login stuff is handled from Ubuntu Online accounts. Nice simplified UI. All the services got ported over there, and it removed a bunch of complexity from the Gwibber backend as well, which is really nice. Another thing we recently landed in time for Beta 2 was the social previews. It was my first dive into Nux stuff, which was pretty painful. But oh, sorry, we got a cat in my office. So that gives you the basically extends the lens a little bit, so you can get richer data out of it. You can read the full post now instead of just the highlight in the lens, and you can see image previews for images people post. You can like and unlike posts that have been that are in your stream. You can retweet from there, share on Facebook. Can't reply yet. That required a little bit more UI work. That was too hard to land after feature freeze. But expect more cool stuff to come in 13.04 for the lens. Also, the back end is going to be much, much leaner and more robust. The Barry and Robert, not Robert Carr, Robert, I actually forget his last name, new guy on the desktop team, basically rewritten the Gwibber backend. So expect really cool stuff in 13.04.
Is the memory consumption now a little bit better, I hope?
Oh, right, well, right now, with 5 accounts, the max I've seen is about 98 megs of RSS.
Finally.
But that's been since last cycle, too.
Even the cat's like, awesome.
I know, loving it.
That's like, finally I can get my RAM back so I can give it to Chrome. I got some questions for you already. Conscious user asks, are web apps integrated with online accounts by default? If not, are there plans for it? If so, how do they handle multiple accounts? For example, multiple Twitter accounts. This is a good question for both of you.
Yeah.
How far does that come between there's a browser plugin for both web accounts and for web apps?
Yeah. Not as far as it should eventually, mostly because we haven't solved all the interface problems around how to handle the multiple accounts case. So right now it's a little iffy. There's some integration around the account setup, but it's mostly kind of invisible. There's not, I guess. I feel like the deeper integration you'd really want would be like, multiple Gmails and your messaging indicator with different accounts and the like. And we haven't solved all the problems there yet.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Ken?
Takes a while to unmute my mic. Yeah, so when we first talked about including Gwibber by default, one of the visions that was shared was the ability to, if you log into Facebook in your browser, you probably want to use Facebook. Let's integrate the desktop with Facebook, right? And store that credential and use it in Gwibber. So that's actually technically possible right now. I think, let me check real quick, I think that plugin for web accounts actually didn't make it in the default install for this cycle.
Yeah.
Checking, I don't remember if it did. No, it's still in Universe. But if that browser plugin is installed now and it prompts you to integrate, it will actually load that account into Ubuntu Online accounts. So we're just about to, we're to that step now where we wanted to be in Karmic, where we could capture that you want to use this and you say you want to integrate, Gwibber will automatically know about that account. And web apps will know about it as well. So you add Facebook integration and you can get the Chromeless in Chromium, you're using Chromium, and you can get the messaging menu integration, all that kind of stuff.
Are there any plans to, sorry, are there any plans to kind of, because when I add Facebook to online accounts, I get it in Gwibber, I get it in Shotwell, and I get it in Empathy. Is there any plans to make it so that I can just have it in Gwibber and not Empathy and Shotwell?
Yes. I don't know what the status is on that right now, but that's what the original specification called for. I don't think we have that granularity in the UI yet. I know we don't, but I don't think that's going to land for 12.10. But 13.04, I think that's the plan.
Awesome.
Okay, next. What happened to the new origami look for 12.10? So Ivanka wasn't able to make it. We'll grab her next time for that one. David Calais asks, who, by the way, is like the greatest lens guy. He's like, his lenses are awesome. I just wanted to say that. Is there an easy way to submit a new web app? So do we have this like in the process like how we do for the Software Center submitting apps and stuff? Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so right now it's not as good as it could be. You could submit a merge proposal to Launchpad Web Apps dash applications. What we're working on is some infrastructure modeled around how people distribute Juju charms. And hopefully we'll have something around that soon. But basically you just need a user script and a manifest file. It's relatively straightforward, but we'd like to get it itemized to just a few steps and clear.
Sorry, I had to go there for a second. You're not going to believe who that was, Joey.
My UPS man?
My UPS guy with my thing I ordered from Amazon yesterday. Like that. Okay, James asks, planning to update through the Software Center eventually. How about creating categories for books and not showing them down along with the apps? So the categories thing, I guess that's something we should ask MPT, but I don't know what he means about updating web apps through the Software Center. So hopefully, James, if you could clarify your comment, that would help. Go ahead.
The web app integration scripts will be updated through the through the Software Center.
Okay.
I mean, through apt mechanism. I think most of the time the update will be invisible when you're visiting the site. But
okay. Do web apps depend on Firefox, or can the user safely uninstall it in favor, say, Chromium and Chrome? And also make sure to distinguish between Chromium and Chrome here, because I know that confuses a lot of
people. Right. They work in Firefox and Chromium, and they could also they could be made to work in other browsers as well. There's a library which basically encapsulates most of the code to write an extension, but currently just Firefox and Chromium.
And is that Chromium that's in the Software Center, or the one that people can download from God knows where?
Did we ever get rid of all the Chromium patches, Ken? We didn't, did we?
Yes, we got rid of most of them. So Chromium that they download from anywhere will find our extension and load it. So you will get basic web apps integration. There is the we have a patch that adds the ability to manipulate the list of integrated sites. That is still a patch, but I think everything else will work without that.
But Chrome's a no-no.
Yeah, Chrome will not find our extension. Our patch for loading extensions off the file system was merged upstream in Chromium and is in the latest release of Chrome, but it looks in a different path than we installed the extension.
So is that something that is just skewed now, and whenever the next Chrome releases in the next 45 minutes or whatever, they'll release a new Chrome? So is this just something that eventually we'll get in Chrome?
Well, I mean, I think if we installed the extension in the directory that Chrome looked at, I think most of it will work, but we don't test anything in Chrome, so we don't know the state of that. So that would be something, basically a support decision we have to look at.
All right. James, I think we answered your question. If we didn't, post again, I guess. We've answered that one. Let me just look through here. Has any voice recognition software been development for Ubuntu? Any of you guys know anything about that?
People are interested in it.
Nice one.
I know that the online Ubuntu One music store it's not quite the same answering this question, but I know that it has like a voice input thing, which is quite fun to play with.
What does it?
For voice search.
Our music store?
Yeah.
Man.
There's a little microphone, and you can click it.
And Joey sees everything.
Man, yeah, I don't believe you.
Everything.
I like work for Canonical. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I depend on Joey to tell me what I should.
It's right next to the search box. You can't miss it.
I have to sign in, but I have two-factor auth, so I need to find my phone somewhere. I'll check it out later.
It is there, trust me.
Okay, I believe you. Let me see if it'll let me on. So let's see, waiting on more questions. Oh, new comment. It does that via Chrome and Chromium Joey. So I guess someone was just telling you something, Joey. More questions. Here we go. How much outreach is going to actual websites to support Unity rather than patching around that with user scripts? You seem to be encouraging people to write user scripts and not actually talking to websites. Am I wrong about that?
So far, not really. But I mean, it's important to consider that the project wasn't made public so long ago and hasn't been available in a release of, even a development release of Ubuntu until very recently. So I think as soon as we get it all landed and the dust settles a little, then we have confidence that we can go to websites and they'll easily be able to give it a shot. I think we'll be reaching out more.
Yeah, I was really encouraged.
It still hasn't been included in a development release until this Thursday.
Yeah.
We're still 4 days away from that.
Nice.
But it's all seeded and ready to go.
It does seem cool, though, that the radio guys, I think I was Todd Berman and those guys, out to you. I was pretty excited about that. So
very cool.
Yeah. Those guys are just a class act in general. But and then Conscious User asks, if I remember correctly, so far WebOS have been advertised to create it. Basically, he just asked the same question. So I guess that's going to be ongoing for us to talk to websites and stuff about supporting Ubuntu users. Yeah, and I guess, I don't know, we should probably ship it first, is what we're trying to say, Robert.
Yeah, I think...
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just saying that a lot of stuff out there is open source that we could add support. So if you add it in one place, if you add it in WordPress, then that kind of covers everybody, right? And I think Reddit is open source, so I'd love to see that just like natively built in.
Yeah, that'd be good. I really want to use all of Reddit with the HUD.
Yeah.
I'm not a Reddit person. I don't get this whole Reddit thing, if I'm honest.
It's all about dopamine.
I don't get it either. I just thought I was too old or something. I didn't get it.
Oh, wow. So I just piped your last question to this Ubuntu One Music voice search. I didn't even know we had that. That's wicked.
Really cool.
Here's a question for one of our guests, Joey. How do you keep track with all this stuff? I'm pretty sure you have to be subscribed to, like, at the Launchpad level to branch it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much because there are some things I shouldn't say.
I see. Okay.
Joey, I know you see everything I do like an hour after I do it. I uploaded Ubuntu themes and boom.
Yeah.
An hour? 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. I noticed an hour later that you saw it. It's like I have a stalker.
I literally have no social life. I just keep plugged in. Even on my day off, I'm just petrified that I've missed a commit or a merge or something.
Well, yeah, like if you go to code.launchpad.net/unity and then subscribe to every branch, then you get everything.
Literally.
Yeah.
I can't follow it. Just too much.
I just let Joey kind of do the hard work.
I filter it out for everyone. So.
Yes. Exactly.
Thanks, Joey. We appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we're going to get new questions. Any more questions from the audience?
People are asking questions on OMG, yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm refreshing. Timo says, Joey, thanks for the hint on the microphone in the music store. It really works good. Unbelievable. Woo. Good to see someone happy today. More questions. I guess we should talk about the beta a little bit. Why don't we go? What are you guys looking forward to in this beta? What are you been working on? Yeah. So this will actually land this Thursday, is what you're saying, Ken?
Yes. Web apps.
I don't know. You've been saying this Thursday for a long time.
Well, last Thursday was the
Yeah.
phrase. Which I think turned out to be what, this morning, Robert?
Yeah.
We finally got it seeded this morning, so
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
it'll be on the CD on Thursday.
So users, you should probably remove that broken PPA that I'm sure you guys have been wailing on.
It's not broken right now.
Cool.
It's been broken in the past.
It has been broken in the past.
Yeah.
Once we started landing things in Quantal, the PPA was a best effort kind of thing, but it's pretty behind.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what have we had, like 14 libunity web apps releases, Robert, in the last 4 days?
Wow.
Not exactly.
I think we had 5 on Thursday or on Wednesday.
It's only like 8 or 9.
So James McNaughton asks, "Great work, guys. Is there any progress on Google Plus access for Gwibber?" I get this question a lot.
I wish we could.
It's all dependent on Google, I imagine, yeah?
It is, yeah.
It is, and there's speculation that one of the technical architects there is opposed to having a right API.
You know
Like,
what?
permanently opposed.
I've been thinking about this as well. I was like, you know, the second they have an API, a right API for Google Plus, it's going to turn into Twitter. It's just going to be people retweeting spam.
Yeah. Well, they actually fear some of the ecosystem that Facebook has created, I think. I mean, it's very compelling for Facebook apps, developers to write these apps. But they think in the long run, at least this guy's vision is in the long run, that creates so much pollution in your stream that's not relevant anymore, right?
Yeah,
so if they have total control, then they can prevent that. And people are saying, which I've been saying up until recently, that I really think it's going to kill them because this is why people are developing apps for Facebook. But I think in the long run, this might be a higher quality experience by not allowing that. Although it's frustrating as somebody writing a desktop app. I mean, clearly they have an API for a desktop app because they have it on their phone.
I mean, Hootsuite can post to Google Plus and list stream posts. I mean,
you can the current Read API. I don't know how they're doing the post, but the Read API, there is a Read API and you can get data. But right now, the only thing you can reasonably get from it is the things you've posted, because there's no way to find who your friends are. There's no API exposed to find out who's in your circles and what they've posted. I think if you know all their IDs from all the people in your friend circles, you can get that with the Read API, but there's no way to connect the two, which is why it's not really being used by anybody. So I'm not sure what Hootsuite's doing. They might be doing some screen scraping or something. There's no telling.
Yeah, for the post.
It's
I don't know. I kind of like it the way it is. I mean, I'm a web app guy anyway, so keep your.
The problem for me is I forget to go to Google Plus. I have to keep reminding myself because I'm so dependent on something like Gwibber, which kind of collates everything.
Yeah, that's me too. I mean, I like to use it in the Lens. I really want to improve that experience a lot, but I don't like to have to remember to go one of my 85 tabs to see what have people posted on Google Plus, or if I want to post something. I've been doing it more and more lately, but I'm not in the habit of doing that.
Oh, that's weird. I keep mine open as an app. Yeah, that's just.
But then I have too many windows.
Well,
Although Web Apps is making this much better.
Dude,
I've been using Google Plus much more since I've had Web Apps.
You have the spread, dude. Super W, bro.
Hey, when it doesn't bring my desktop to a crawl.
Yeah, I kind of wish Neil was here because I really want to ask him what's up with the spread. Because I know it was a big plan.
Right now, it's working great on my Intel-based laptop, but my NVIDIA desktop, it just slows to a crawl when I hit Super W.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Gotta stick with Intel, man.
All right, shopping advice from Kent. And you can get this great new Intel hardware via Amazon. Unity shopping. Pavel asks, will Twitter and Facebook be separated in Gwibber? It is hard to navigate through Twitter if I care about Twitter. What do you have to say about that, Ken?
It is in the lens.
Gwibber.
I'm sorry, what's that, Joey?
I'd really love to see a multi-column Gwibber.
Yeah, I'm starting to be of the opinion, though, that I actually want to see the Gwibber client die, or maybe somebody else start maintaining it.
Oh, you just want to...
It's painful.
Is that an exclusive, Ken?
But I really want to improve the experience in the Unity lens. Now that we have previews, we can kind of do that. And that could give you that multi-column view. I mean, we could, as the lenses get more sophisticated, we could potentially solve that problem in Unity. Then I don't have to do UI work, which is really what I want. I mean, I wish Neil was here. I could beat up on him.
Yeah.
A lot of the new Gwibber client was Neil's designs, and he was going to help with that, but he just doesn't have time to work on it. I hate doing UI work. And personally, the way I use Gwibber is mostly in Unity anyway. I don't even use the GUI client that much.
So how do you post? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe now it might make sense to put the
I do my posting, the little update status thing in the messaging menu, which opens up the little Gwibber poster widget. Right. I'd like to see that actually embedded inside the lens. I think technically we can do that now, since it's just nuts in the preview. So I have to do a little UI work, which I hate doing, but I did it for the previews already. I don't see why I couldn't add an input field in there. We'll have to see what design has to say about that. But, so I'd like to focus more on that and less on the client, and if somebody else wants to maintain that, that'd be awesome. But I'm really tired of working on it. And fixing scrolling is hard. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Does it have auto updating stream thing, yes or no?
What do you mean?
Push. Do you push
Twitter's live stream?
Yeah.
No. But I desperately want to implement that as well. We had hoped somebody would do that this cycle, and he ended up getting another job and been very busy. So hopefully next cycle.
You should just steal Polly and slap Gwibber's name on it.
Is that the one with the icon?
It doesn't do Facebook and stuff though, and Identica, and,
True.
and all those. I mean, it's a very different model. So unfortunately,
Ken likes to talk to the one other person on Identica, which I think is Ted Gould. We've had on twice before.
You're right. It is Ted.
Is Ted? We need to have Ted on the show again together, because he's a really great scapegoat for a lot of these features. Conscious User asks again, Ken, a lot of great questions today, Carlos, by the way. Ken, do you know the current state of G-object introspection for GTK spell? Slightly off topic, but I'm personally interested in this.
Yeah, I think I had volunteered to try to add that for GTK spell back at the beginning of this cycle, maybe, or in the last cycle. And it was pretty hard to actually add that back then. I haven't looked at it lately. GTK spell is barely maintained, unfortunately. But maybe I could try to take another look at it now that hopefully Robert's not keeping me as busy. Maybe I can try to add in introspection to that. I did the Vala stuff for GTK spell, and that wasn't very hard. It was pretty cool, but I don't know. I was having some sort of problems with introspection, so I will try to look at that again.
So it's probably coming along the same as the Gwibber client. Okay. Uber Duditz, nice name. He goes, are there plans to give users control over the scopes visible in the home lens? Is there any possibility of a dedicated shopping lens as more scopes are added? So this is a good question as far as...
I just heard that was planned for 1304.
Where did you hear that? Is there a blueprint or something?
From Ollie.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Joey figured it out before we did. I saw somebody on the internet, I think it was on the Reddit thread or something, had a cool little mock-up of how it would look like.
Yeah.
Because like every time David Calais and Mark Tully write a lens, like let me count the number of lenses I have right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 lenses already. And I don't consider myself like a lens power user, so I'm sure we're going to need to figure something out here.
I did notice that in 12.10, each lens now has its own icon in user share applications, whereas it didn't before.
Huh. I wonder if it's because you can right-click. No, there's no icons there. Interesting. Do you see the new help lens, Joey? This will give you something to write about.
The new HUD ones?
No, the help lens.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So Mark Tully took the Ask Ubuntu lens and he just created a general help lens and then connected it to the built-in help on the desktop. So if you can ask questions, it'll return results from Ask Ubuntu and
okay, that sounds awesome.
and the built-in help and the system help as well. So you can just do Super H and just start typing, configure. There's still that bug where in the card view the icons have a black box around them. I don't know whose fault that is. See, that's why I wish Neil was here. So we could just be like, dude, you have to fix this bug right now.
Do you think he knew he was going to get a lot of blame and so decided to hide under a table somewhere?
Yeah. No, just kidding. I miss Neil. He's been really, really busy this cycle. It seems that 11.04, when he was writing Unity, him and Jason, I thought, were busy. But they're actually getting busier with every release, which is incredible. Let's see. Oh, question. Sam asked, custom text commands in the dash /tweet blah blah and so on and so forth. I remember at UDS asking Neil about this a lot, kind of turning the dash input box so you can do like regular expressions and all this kind of stuff. What do you guys think about that? I mean, to me, it sounds something that's cool, but probably not a priority. But I can't speak for Neil because he is not here. I think it'd be cool.
I'll speak for Neil. Neil will do it. He can implement it.
Yeah, I heard Neil was doing that.
Yeah. So we're really having a hangout and assigning bugs to Neil Patel. Okay. That's certainly cool. I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up at UDS. I'll try to get you some feedback on that one, Sam. Good idea, though.
It could be very cool for the power user.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you can do in there, right? I've always envisioned. Back before Neil took away the collapse mode of the dash, it was kind of like the Super Quake console to me. Like, those of you who remember Quake and Doom. But then they took away the collapse mode, which is like my favorite thing ever. So I had to switch to FreeBSD. Just kidding. David Calais mentions, Joey, the lens icons in user share applications, it's for the software center.
Okay.
All right, we have about 5 minutes left, and then we'll wrap it up. So if you have questions, get them in. So other than Ivanka and Neil bailing on us, that'd be cool. But we can do this. When do you guys want to do this again? We can do this in 2-3 weeks. Joey, I think we should have you just hanging out at all times.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Annoying.
You came prepared with questions, and you always know what your audience is asking about. I mean, why not?
It's depressing because 60% were for Neil.
It's okay, we'll get it back.
We should do this during UDS or something.
So I've tried that. We figured out getting cameras and stuff. The problem is when you have 9 tracks all at once, all the outgoing bandwidth for Google Hangouts is going to be pretty brutal. And they're already bringing in a ton of bandwidth anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll be doing it in Europe. So maybe like evening after the sessions are over one night.
Yeah.
Do something.
Oh, just having a general hangout in general. Oh, absolutely, we can do that.
Yeah, without special cameras or anything. I mean, we could all just do it, whether we're in the same room or not. But it might be kind of cool.
Because one thing I wanted to try was having cameras in every UDS room, so people can just join sessions like this, right? This could be a UDS session, right? For example.
That would be insanely productive.
Yeah, the problem is that the outgoing bandwidth is going to be pretty brutal. Sean measured it, and I think, I don't want to speak for them, but I think the OpenStack guys might try it, and then we'll see how it works out for them. So just a few more questions. Plus, I want to have these. We should have these regularly all the time. I think originally, it was a Friday after release. And usually after a release, I just like to hang out and read stuff on the internet. And I figured it'd be cool to just hang out. So we can definitely do more with new guests. So we are going to get Neil. before, I promise we'll get Neil before the end of release. James McLean asks, "Oh, how is GNU Ubuntu going?" Note to self: let's bring Jeremy Bicca in next time. He's cool, and we can talk a little bit about the GNOME Shell remix. Ken, you're on desktop team. I guess you're the closest to that.
Yeah, I don't know the actual current status. I was involved in some of the planning we did for it at UDS, and it was actually one of the drivers for creating a true fork of the control center.
Okay.
That way we could have a vanilla control center without all our patches, which then turned into this big backlash about us forking the control center. But really the drive was it so we could have a version of the control center that was unpatched. That was the motivator.
Always put Amazon in the control center.
All right, let's do that. But I don't know. I don't think that ever really happened. The fork of that, I don't think that ever really happened. So that would have a negative effect on the GNU Ubuntu situation. But I know they had. I think they had ISO releases for it. I didn't actually.
Yeah,
try
I mean, from what I see in the posts on the forums and stuff, people are using it. I mean, it seems to be just working. So it looks like it's coming in along fine. I will take 2 more questions from the crowd. And then let's try to shoot this. When do we release? Anyone know? I think it's like in a month, right? We should probably try to have. We should have one in 2 weeks or so. What do you guys think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Joey, we'll make you a figure. This time we should just run the questions on OMG. It's a lot easier. So less work for me. So October 18th. So okay, I'll figure out a time between now and then. Thanks everyone for joining us. I'm going to take one more question. Whoever asks us next. But the URL for this is Ubuntu on Air. We try to have these regularly. We try to keep them fun and light and just come hang out. We can talk to people. I try to get different Ubuntu developers on board. So this next one, let's try to get Jeremy. Neil and Ivanka definitely owe us, so we're definitely going to try whatever nefarious means it takes to get them on. If there's anything else you'd like to see us host on Ubuntu on Air, just leave a comment, and we'll get to it. I remember the first one we had Chris Van Hoof, and somebody asked how it was coming along with NVIDIA or something, and he explained more about how Canonical and Ubuntu talked to NVIDIA and AMD in 5 minutes, and I've known like in 3 years. I didn't know we had like weekly meetings with them and status reports and milestones and all this kind of cool stuff. So there's always something we can learn.
Always.
Last chance for questions. 30 seconds. Anybody?
Da-dun, da-dun.
Anything else you'd like to add? Robert or Ken? My feature?
Not in particular. Just thanks, everyone.
How about you, Ken?
No.
Joey, any final thoughts and concerns? Something English you would say?
I hate being on the spot. That's kind of it, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Oh, finally, a question. All right, last one. Would it be possible to integrate Alt F2 into the dash? I think we specifically split it so that you can do a binary name and path completion, right?
Yeah, I mean, it uses the dash, but it's not part of the global search, kind of thing. I mean, if you hit Alt F2, you get a dash overlay.
Right.
Yeah.
And it searches for commands.
Yeah, I think Alt F2 is I want to run something Unixy, and the other one is like I want to find.
Right. So it's run commands. You type in, GNOME-terminal or something, and it'll find it.
Yeah.
Because it's based on the binary.
Cool. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll announce. We'll try to announce. I think we should announce it a week earlier this time. Try to get better questions. Questions in advance. I didn't mean better questions. That totally came out wrong. I mean, we could get more detailed questions ahead of time. But at the same time, I like to do it on the spot, be spontaneous.
Who knows?
It's more fun that way.
Yeah, we're
Adventure.
light. It's another word for unprepared.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thanks to our guests for hanging out, and we'll do this again in a few weeks. Those of you that asked questions, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks all.